Being able to understand major 2-5-1s is such a great way to practice because they turn up everywhere, and if you recognize them, there are some reasonably straightforward strategies which I'm going to share with you that you can play over them. So I'm going to show you, I've got a backing track here that's got a 2-5-1. I'm going to demonstrate on my tenor, but this is for tenor and alto as well, and you'll see as the video goes on. But by far the most straightforward way is just to play a Dorian minor. In this case, this is a 2-5-1 in C, so for my tenor saxophone that's going to be my D minor Dorian. Have a listen to how nice it sounds. Sounds really nice. I'm just going up and down the notes of C major but starting on a D, so my D minor Dorian. It's lovely. Another strategy that you could use is that you could play the chord tones, and again I'm going to explain all of this as the video goes on. So have a look at the chord tones. Look. So we're going to go through that as well, and I've got a lick which my son has transcribed into all 12 keys. It's a lovely jazz lick. So that's another strategy that you could do, that you could go with, is that you could learn a lick over all of in all 12 keys so that you could deploy this when you see a major 2-5-1. And this just sounds really nice. Again, I've written it out for both instruments. Have a listen. Just sounds really nice, and that is such good practice to take a lick like that round in all 12 keys. There's a PDF which is a free PDF in the description below. You can download that, and what it says is understanding and having a strategy that you can actually execute over a 2-5-1 is invaluable because 2-5-1s occur everywhere in all kinds of music. And in this video we're going to have a look at the what, the why, the where and the how of 2-5-1s. And what is it? Well, a 2-5-1 is a really common chord progression built from the same home scale. In other words, in this case for tenor, if you take C major, you know that you can start C major on the D and you get a scale out of that, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and you can create a chord, D, F, A, C. Well, that would be the 2 chord. And then you can do the same thing starting on the 5. So starting on this case in the G. So that would be G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you can make a chord out of that, G, B, D, and F. And that's what the pianist or the guitar player might play. And as they do that, you can play something beautiful over the top of those chords. Then the final chord of the 2-5-1 is going to be the C major in this case, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and you're going to hit the root, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th, or the pianist is, and then, like I said, you can play something really beautiful over that. So, so it says, for example, in C major, you've got D minor 7, followed by G7, followed by C major. And one of the other resources that I've given you in the description below is this sheet here, which has all of the chord tones written out. So tenor players, today I'm demonstrating here, and for alto players I'm demonstrating in the key of G, because this is concert C for tenor, which is concert B flat, which would be G for altos. So you've got all of the chord tones written down, and that would be a really good practice. That'd probably be the first thing that I'd want to do. And And the time-honoured method is just to play the root of each one. So I'm just going to play a D and then a G and then a C. And then I'm going to play a D and an F, the root and the third, G and a B, root and third, C and E, root and third, D, F, A, G, B, D, C, E, G, and so on. So I'm just going to be playing each one. And this is the time-honoured method. Now, it sounds like quite a kind of exercisey thing to do, but this is going to lead on to really good improvisation. Believe me, have a listen. Then if I took that simple idea and I just threw it around a little bit, just throwing the chord tones round, that would sound really interesting. Like this, look. And that's just chord tones. Doesn't it sound lovely? So that's a really good thing to practice. You've got the sheet there. I'm giving you a backing track. There's a backing track for alto and tenor, all in the description below. Then the PDF talks about why it works, and it says that the 2 and the 5 chord create tension. So that's these two chords here. These two chords create tension, and then that is resolved on the 1. And that's why it turns up absolutely everywhere. And then the PDF talks about saying that sometimes you'll just get the 2 and the 5 on its own. So you'll just see these two chords. And this is why it's really important to understand about 2-5-1s, because if you just see these two chords on your own and you recognize them, all you have to do is to think, what is a whole tone below D? And that would be C. And that's all the notes that I need to be able to play over this. So again, I could play like I did in the demonstration at the start of this video. I could just play my D minor for tenor sax. I could play that through there, and that would sound really nice as well. And the first time I'm just going to play it straight, and the second time I'm going to throw it around a little bit. This is a really good way of practicing. So have a look. And that's lots of fun. It sounds really, really, really nice. That's another strategy. So number 1, play your chord tones. Number 2, experiment with the Dorian minor. And so if we have a look at the second page of the PDF, it says how to recognize a 2-5-1 and work with it. And so what I'm looking for is anything minor 7 followed by something 7. Can you see that all these chords are the same? And if that's followed by a major, then that's definitely going to be a 2-5-1. And there's different ways that you might see it written down. There's a D with an M here, and then a G with a 7, and it's got a chord extension. You don't always see that, as you can see. And then remember that all 3 chords come from the same home scale. So they share the same pool of notes, which is really handy to know. So instead of seeing D minor and thinking, oh, I've got to take D, now flatten the 3rd, now flatten the 7th, and then G, 7, that means I've got to flatten the 7th of G. What's the 7th of G? It's an F sharp. Now I've got to flatten it. Instead of doing all of that, I just think it's just the notes of C. It's really straightforward. I just go to the 2 and see what is a whole tone below D, and that will give me C, and that's the notes that will fit all over this 2-5-1 progression. Then it says practice chord tone exercises, which we've done, and then learn a simple lick that works across the progression. And the simple lick that I've got for you is a lovely jazzy lick, which I played at the start of the video video. I've written this out in all 12 keys. I strongly recommend that you learn it in all 12 keys, and it would be such a good exercise. Have a listen. So the first time I'm just going to play it straight as it's written, and then the second time I'm going to throw it around a little bit. So have a listen. So if I learnt that lick really well, then I could throw it around a bit and have it in all 12 keys. Having it in all 12 keys would be such a powerful exercise and good way to go. Now, if you're interested in 251s, on saxmadesimple.com, which is perhaps the best saxophone tuition website ever, I've done a major 251 course, one for alto and one for tenor, and there's 12 videos in each, and you get PDFs and backing tracks. Like, you're going to get a backing track from my friends today at Session Band. Thank you so much for supplying that. This is from Session Band Jazz Volume 2, and this is a cool swing vibe. And there's a free backing track for tenor and one for alto in the description below. So alto players, you can take everything that I've done and just put a different backing track on, and it will still fit. And it says, final thoughts, developing your familiarity with the 251 is one of the strongest things that you can do to build your knowledge and confidence with chord charts. It's essential if you want to be able to improvise over jazz tunes. I mean, it just is, because it turns up everywhere. I really hope that you found that useful. And if you have, please consider subscribing to the channel. And also, you can hype this video. That would be really useful as well. You can hype it 3 times. That would help me out a lot. You can also join my YouTube channel, and that would cost you, I think it's either £2.99 a month or £3.99 a month, and that really helps as well. You get members only videos, you get lots of support from me, you get all of these videos earlier than the general public, but you get members only videos as well, with lots of top tips on there. And you can also email me and I'll give you support if you're a member of the YouTube channel. You can go to Sax Made Simple and download courses as well, and there's tons of free content that I want to give you completely free of charge as my gift to sax players everywhere. But there's some paid content on there, like 251 courses, blue scale courses, major scale courses, minor scale courses. You don't have to join the website, you just buy a course, and at that point you create an account. You can also buy me a coffee if you want to send a ripple of happiness throughout my house. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.